Hello everyone, Hamas28 here, and today we're back in the world of Seaopolis Submerged. So as you can see from behind me, we have even more phytogenic insulators, and the wall of machines continues to grow. So these additional insulators are just making more Infernium Essence. Because having a single machine is really slow, and to actually make it usable for our progression, we need blocks of it to put into our strainer to produce an echo shard, which is also really slow, and takes a lot. So I thought the only way to make it go faster was adding more insulators. Of course, this came with a separate problem, in that insulators take a lot of RF, and the way I band-aid fixed it right now is I added another steam dynamo and 2 more Stirling boilers, which seems to be doing the trick. Yeah, it seems to be keeping up with production, because 2 steam dynamos can produce 160 RF per tick together, and they both take 2 Stirling dynamos to function. So as long as everything isn't running at the same time, we generate just enough power, but as we add even more machines, this is going to continue to be an issue, especially as I do other upgrades. Like, I want to change these blast furnaces to redstone furnaces at some point, so I don't have to keep filling them with coal, and stuff like that. So we're going to need a better way to generate power that is also going to take 0 input from me once I set it up. And the way I've thought about doing that is by using the broken laws of thermodynamics to turn ice into power. So it's actually going to be very simple. I was trying to figure out ways we could generate a lot of power, and I was looking at the Frost Dynamo from Thermal Extra. And when we look at the fuels it can ingest, as you can see, it's all the cold stuff, and ice generates 4200 RF per tick. Packed ice generates 37800, but if you go to the last page, blue ice, the densest of all the ice, produces 340,000 RF per tick, which is quite a lot for a single item. But then you may be wondering, well, where do we get the blue ice? Well, blue ice can be made from packed ice in this crafting recipe. As you can see, it's 9:1, pretty standard, but packed ice can be grown through mystical agriculture from ice essence, and 9 ice essence can produce 20 packed ice, or 2 full blocks for the for the Frost Dynamo. And ice essence comes from ice seeds, which can be grown in the phytogenic insulator at a cost of 10,000 RF per tick. Well, not per tick, 10,000 RF in total. Now, I did the math, and that means using ice seeds in phytogenic insulators, we can grow 9 ice essence at a cost of 90,000 RF, but turn that into 2 blue ice, which can produce 680 RF, which means we're going to generate a bonus of about 500,000 RF in total, plus like another 80,000, which is really good. And because of the cyclical processing, we never have to actually do anything. As long as it stays filled with water and power, it'll just run forever. And to make the ice seeds, it's actually pretty easy, because we just need our prosperity seeds, ice, and infernium essence, and we're about to unlock prosperity shards after we make our enderium mesh and start sifting diamonds and prosperity shards. So let's go ahead and grab all of our echo shards, and this is pretty cheap as well. Once we get more infernium essence, I think I'm going to upgrade every single mesh of ours to the echo version, because that will increase the amount of drops we get from everything, as the echo mesh is pretty high tier. And this is like the only craft we need it for, so we're not going to be fighting for resources with this. And to make our diamond dust, we just need to put this into another strainer with more infernium and apatite. Gotcha. Okay, so we're going to need another 2 wooden strainers for this, along with some more purified water, and we're going to have to start producing apatite as well. And it's only a 10% chance. Ooh, that's not good. At least diamond is 30%, but this is really low. With the higher mesh, we can go up to 40%, which is pretty nice, but that means that making prosperity shards is going to be really item intensive, unless I make more of the upgrades as we had before. So let's go ahead and make 2 more strainers. We're also going to need 2 more strainer tanks, and are we out of glass? Huh. Guess we're out of glass. Okay. I'm gonna go get some glass real quick, and then we'll continue on with what we were doing. Alright, so let's go ahead and add these guys right here. I am getting a little lazy with the strainer placement, but it's honestly not the worst place to put it. Put our purified water Now if we put this guy in here and then take this everlasting upgrade, put you in there, and grab some more. That's not what I meant to do. I took the water out of it. That's not nice. I'll just leave that there. Grab Infernium, Infernium, and Infernium. And I should probably make a crafting table on a stick at some point. But now we just need to make some more Infernium blocks, and we can start getting our first couple diamonds. So let's go ahead and throw that in there, make some Infernium blocks, throw in our everlasting input upgrade, and see if we can get lucky. It is a 40% chance, so it's going to be pretty slow, which is why you want this to be running essentially forever, right? And then we're also going to need a bunch of apatite, so let me grab 4 stacks of this, which is actually most of it. We're not producing a ton of apatite, and go ahead and swap out the niter for apatite. Throw that in here. Luckily we don't need too much, but it is really expensive. Mostly because if I don't have these input upgrades, this is really expensive. As you remember, it's like a 10% chance, so you really need to focus on at least getting the everlasting version so you can get more. And at least now using the Echo Mesh, we can also accrue Echo Shards and Diamond Dust at the same time. And there we go, quest completed. So now let me swap this guy and this guy over here and put in a little bit of apatite, which I think we have some available to us from when I was processing it earlier. Yep, there we go. 45 apatite is all of the apatite available to us. Throw that into the strainer and get ourselves a little bit of prosperity shards. Of course, that's going to get us to the prosperity gemstone, which will take 4. And to make the actual diamond, you have to just... How do I convert the dust? Enderium, lead, and ender dust. Oh, in a crystallizer. Gotcha. Which will start getting us our apatite. Now, this one is the lower chance, right? Apatite strainer is only 10%, so that's going to be really slow. So I might as well just make 3 more of these everlasting input upgrades. We have a pretty big backlog of lapis that I can use for it, which is like the most expensive part, as they take, I think each one takes 8 blocks of lapis to produce, which is pretty expensive, but we're going to need it to make these very efficient and run for quite a long time. Anyways, we can move on. Because now all of our strainer tanks have our everlasting input upgrades, which means they're going to run much more efficiently. So now we can grab our echo dusts, our shards, throw this into here. Let me grab our upgrade. Oh, that's the wrong one. Grab this one and this one for now. Swap you, throw that in there, throw in our diamond dust, and make our first diamond. And then we combine that with the Then we combine the diamond with the prosperity shards to make the prosperity gemstone. Then we can make the infusion crystal and make prudentium essence. But now that we have access to the prosperity shards, I can go ahead and craft my ice seeds. Because as you can see, it's just 4 ice, infernium, and a prosperity seed base, which is just some wheat seeds, which is pretty easy. Where's my food? There we go. And then we can start working on our better power generation, which I found is actually pretty cheap. So ice seeds, how much ice do we have? 4, perfect. 4 ice, 4 infernium. Then we just need a seed. That's a grass seed, a wheat seed. Prosperity shards. Prosperity seed base. And is this needed for the quest? I'm not missing anything, right? No, perfect. You go here. Essence, 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 essence. Ice, 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 and ice. To make the ice seed. Perfect. Now this is going to be pretty slow, but I think at the rate it gets generated, that really shouldn't be a problem. Because it's just that efficient. If it was less efficient as a fuel source, it would be an issue, but it's not. So go ahead and swap that out, grab this, and now we can produce ice. So you can see it takes 20 RF per tick, and since we're running out of power, that probably means our Stirling engines ran out of fuel, so let me top those guys up. And that's why I wanted to do this, it's really annoying to have to top up these engines every once in a while when they run out of fuel. And I don't want to have to do that. So I actually should probably move this, because we need to take this ice essence, move it into a crafter to make our packed ice, as you can see here. And it's also really funny when you think about it, because you can make packed ice from ice, but it only takes one additional ice essence to make packed ice over regular ice, when it takes 9 ice to make packed ice. When you think about it, it's really inefficient. I mean, not inefficient, it's a really broken recipe, which is why I think this is going to be a really cheap way to do it. So we're just going to take the ice essence, push it into a crafter to make the packed ice, push that into another crafter to make our blue ice, and then throw this blue ice into the frost dynamo. So you can see it's really cheap to set up, especially at this tier. It doesn't take any additional diamonds, we just needed the prosperity shards to actually make the seed base. Now we will need an invar gear and some amethyst dust, but other than that we'll be good to go. So I should have 4 invar available. Yep, 4 invar. Grab my gear working die, and then we should have some amethyst dust in the strainer over here, and we'll be good to go. So throw in this in there to make the gear, grab some amethyst dust, and I probably should replace this strainer at some point, but we'll be good. We're making more echo shards, making more prosperity shards, and it's all working. Now we can grab our diamond out of there to finish off the quest. Quest completed diamond. And how much do we have? I'll need 2 more prosperity shards to make the prosperity gem, and we'll continue down the main quest line. But for now, we can craft our frost dynamo and make 2 crafters. And then we're also going to need, oh, that's going to take a lot of stuff. We're also going to need some servos and some pipes. And that's not how you do it. Do this. I don't know why I'm clicking. I could just make it make a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Crafters. We're going to need some hoppers, which takes some more chests. I swear. Along with some copper nuggets. It's so annoying I have to keep making the wooden hoppers. That goes in there, and make our crafters. Now then we just need an item duct to actually move the items out. And I can't type all of a sudden. Item. I guess we could just use pipes. I didn't think of that. Inventory cables. But I thought there was another thing to make item pipes. Are item ducts not a thing? I guess not, but item pipes work just as well. And is this everything we need? 2 crafters, frost dynamo, item pipe. Yep, I think that's everything. And then this pipe, is this pipe for this thing? I believe it is. So now I'm going to move this guy to the end, just so I can have an easier way. I don't have to waste all this space. And grab my crescent hammer. Take you. Move him to the end over here. Re-put in the ice seed. So now I should be able to just place the crafter to the left, have this automatically output to the left side, like so, into here. Place our 9 ice essence, like that, to make the packed ice. Then, this can output. So, we're going to have this item pipe go up, right here, into this crafter. I really should have made a pickaxe. Okay, made a pickaxe. Throw this up here. Crafter goes there. And now we're going to use this and pipe out the out like that, so that'll pump into here, and then have this pumped into this frost dynamo. So this guy will just have directly into the pipes here. So we'll just put this guy, that's not going to work. Can I rotate you? Rotato potato. Yep, there we go. There we go, like that. Have you, that's too high. It's annoying when you can't use a wrench to just break an item pipe. Have this come out here. Then you have you pull into this. And now this dynamo can only produce a max of 40 RF per tick, which means the fuel is going to run and last for an extremely long time. But now, once we have the ice essence enough to make our packed ice, I'll use that to throw in here to make the blue ice. Blue ice will then go into the dynamo, and we'll get our power production. Now, the benefit here is that because it's so energy dense, the dynamo upgrades that we can throw into this dynamo will make it very efficient. Okay, so I had to rearrange it because the crafters had some strange effects, mostly because I didn't realize how they were programmed. So essentially they kind of function the same as a furnace, and since I was trying to use the item pipe to pull from the top side, it didn't actually want to work. It was actually reading this inventory instead of the output inventory for what it wanted to pull, which I thought was odd. Regardless, now it works. So this crafter gets pumped out of the bottom, through the back, into this crafter. This crafter takes our packed ice, makes blue ice, pumps it out into the frost dynamo, where we produce our power. A whopping 4 RF per tick, mostly because we're not using enough. But now I can throw in some upgrades on here to make this increase, and we can power even more machines. Because what I was thinking, we need to take our diamond dust and automatically turn this into diamonds, so I'll need another crystallizer, probably under here, with auto input on, so we can just pull the diamond dust, although the echo shards might pose a problem, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of filtering. But then the prosperity shards don't need any additional processing, so those can just get sorted into a drawer. Amethyst dust the same, sorted into a drawer. So we really just need an additional crystallizer to basically go right here. Because if I do auto input on the top, that's the wrong one, top. Yes, diamond dust does go inside. So it should, actually, now that I think about it, since echo shards are not a viable item to go into crystallizer, I don't think you even need to filter it. I think it'll automatically know echo shards can't come out. We still have to pull the echo shards out though to put in a chest so I can make more echo meshes, but that does pretty much solve the issue for now, which is pretty good. Now we just need to move this around, move some more of power cables on this side, add a couple drawers, and we'll be good to go. Anyways though, I'm going to do that later, so let's finish off the main quest line and make our prosperity gemstone. So just take our diamond and shards to make the prosperity gemstone, then we're going to make the infernium infusion crystal with a little bit more prosperity shards. Not that bad, but you can see we do need quite a lot of stuff. Infernium essence, make the infernium infusion crystal, and now we can upgrade to prudentium essence, which lets us get tier 2 seeds. Now what is annoying is auto crafting with these crystals can be really finicky, which I'm not a fan of. But now that we have prudentium with 4 of this and a diamond, we can make our emerald and make the first, what's it called? Emerald. That's it. It's just an emerald gem. There's no dust or anything. Click this. See, this is what's so annoying. This is why the auto crafting doesn't work. Because it no longer reads this as the right one, even though it's exactly the same. Because you just do this, and we're all out. See, it still works. It still works, game, but it's only looking for the infusion crystal with 256 uses, not anything else. Grab some more infernium essence, and now when we put it together, grab this, grab our diamond, and make emerald dust. And now we crystallize this to make the emerald. So I definitely need a lot more crystallizers to actually make sure we can run everything. Luckily the crystallizers hardly use any power, so it's actually not that bad. If they were more energy intensive, this would actually be like hellish. Just because your energy production would have to scale exponentially with all of these crystallizers. And why aren't you working? Emerald dust. Oh, it's just really slow. 20,000 RF. How much does this take? 20,000. Where's my augments? Oh, they're in here. Okay, let me make you go faster. There we go, that's a little bit faster. And now that we have access to diamonds, we can make the emerald mesh, one of the highest tier meshes, pretty expensive, and then make bedrock infused obsidian. And now I made more emerald dust, because even though it's so slow, we're going to need another 4 to actually make the mesh. You remember that? It takes more than 1 to make a mesh. But it's a tier 6 mesh with 1,500 uses, which is more than every other mesh we've made so far. But I think for the most part, I will just be using the echo meshes because they're so cheap to produce. As you can see, it's just echo shards, and we don't really have a use for these in under anything else. And it's about half. So until I can mass produce emeralds really cheap, echo shards are going to be the way to go. But while we wait for the emeralds to finish, we need to make some obsidian. And this is a really slow process, so we're going to make obsidian seeds next, which is not that difficult. It's actually one of the easier things we're going to do compared to some of the other stuff, because obsidian can be grown 8 at a time with obsidian essence from obsidian seeds, and tertium essence is just a step up from prudentium essence. And we should have just enough to make this, and we only need 4, so if we do this, we should only need 16 of this guy, which bleeds through most of our reserves here. Take this into... Wait, what? How does that work? Fernium, emerald, tertium essence, prudentium. Oh, we need a different tier. Crystal. Can I craft you right now? You can, perfect. And it actually fixes the thing. Oh, and it doesn't use it either. So now we have multiple crystals. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna have to make some more of this, so we just need this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't work? Is this how it usually works? Because that's really annoying. Like so. Take you out, click that, prudentium, to make the tertium essence. Wow, that's actually horrible. Because I thought usually you can use any, so I guess in this version, oh, mystical agriculture tiered crystals. Interesting. I've never played with this mod before, so until we get the like final tier crystal, you actually do have to use different tiers to get what you want. Anyways, now that we have that, we just need 4 obsidian and another prosperity shard, which will take some more prosperity shards, and a little bit of obsidian. So we do have the lava and waters everywhere, so that's not going to be that difficult, which is why I made the diamond pickaxe. Now we will need a little bit more prosperity shards, and then we should have more lava coming pretty soon. So now we just throw in the seed base to make our obsidian seeds. And then we just need to make another phytogenic insulator to start growing the obsidian, so we can process the obsidian into the next tier thingamabob that I already forgot the name of. 2 blocks of infernium, phytogenic insulator. Oh, I do need the cyclical process as well, but that's going to take a little bit more work. That's fine, I'll just do that in a second. Let's just go ahead and start making it. Throw you right here. Input on the bottom, seed on the top. And now we can start making 2 obsidian essence, and we only need 8 in total to make 8 obsidian, which is really cheap. Now we do have our emeralds, now we can go ahead and make our emerald mesh, and then we're going to have to dig down to the center of the earth. So go ahead, grab this guy, make a plus, and make a mesh. Throw the stuff we don't need in there. Quest completed, emerald mesh. And now we have to make bedrock infused obsidian, which means we need access to bedrock at the bottom of the world. We're also going to need 2 of these, I think, or we could just hot swap it. We already have 1 strainer, so it's not really an issue. But then for the next one, we're also going to need eroding water, which if you remember from long, long ago, is this one. I didn't remember from long, long ago. That's why I had to look it up. And make this. Take our mulch. Take an empty bucket. Like so. Like that. And I believe that's everything we're going to need. Minus the obsidian and the bedrock. And there we go. We hit bedrock. Now I just have to clear out a place where I can find bedrock on the top and none on the bottom. And as I was saying that, it looks like we got lucky, and this one should work just fine. Now the only difficulty here is there's not really going to be room for automation. Obviously, it's just there's not enough space. I also dug straight down, so I'm not actually sure the easiest way I can get out of here. There's no teleport. Could just dig straight up. Should have brought a water bottle, now that I think about it. I did bring a warp pipe, but I don't think it's actually connected up. Yeah, it's not. But now we just place this guy here and throw in the emerald mesh with our obsidian, and it starts working. Now it is really slow, but using this method, we're going to be able to make bedrock infused obsidian, and then we have to throw that into another strainer with our eroding water to make bedrock chunks. So now if I just take this guy, put that here, take our eroding water, we can just move it over. And then we widen the space just a little bit so it's not so claustrophobic in here. I'm not scared of Santa, he's scared of me. And we should be good to go. Then once I connect the warp pipe, it should be easier. We could just warp back and forth. Don't have to climb all the way down. It's just a little annoying getting down here. Luckily though, we did find one pretty fast, which was nice. There's even another one right here. Just a shame there's not one with 2 spaces under it, so we could do a little automation with the piping. Or actually, the infused obsidian is here. We could probably just, if I put a little bit more room, we could probably just pipe it out in this direction to make it automatic. Yeah, that should work a lot better. So we go ahead and move this, move that over there, collect some deep slate. Yeah, see, there's enough room over here to actually make that possible. So grab this, move you, put that there. So if we grab a second strainer, we could just pipe it right across. We even have our pipes, throw this here. Yeah, that should work pretty handily. Now if I grab my pipe wrench and climb back out of here, we'll be able to link it. So let me link this guy and then climb right back out. And we should be able to, oh, I can't warp back down. I'm gonna have to dig back down here because I can I can link this pipe back up to the one at the base, but the one at the base is not linked to this one. Or actually, I think you only have to do one link, so it might just work. Let me go ahead and get back up to our base. So now we could just take the warp pipe, the black one, down to the bedrock layer. So let me grab another strainer real quick, just so we don't have to, juggle stuff around. Connect it with our pipe, and we'll be good to go. Oh, I need some more of this. So like that. I forgot how to craft it. Strainer. No, I don't want to make a string one. I want the cheapest one possible. Emerald, netherite. There we go, wooden. Oh, there's a hole in the center, that's why. Make the strainer and head back down. Add this guy right here. And now if I tell you to pull, where's my wrench? Goes in there, perfect. Now this does need an emerald mesh, right? It does. But you can see bedrock infused obsidian always produces a bedrock chunk, so it's 1-to-1, which means if I steal my everlasting input upgrade, one obsidian can produce multiple chunks of bedrock, which is pretty effective. And you're not doing anything right now, so let me trade you. And we do need some more emeralds. We do have a little bit of diamonds, not enough for more emeralds, but that's fine. Because we can be efficient now. So let me go ahead, back down there. Come over here, steal you. Actually, we'll let this finish real quick. Put you in here. Move the mesh over here. And now we can take our bedrock infused obsidian to make chunks of bedrock. And with 6 of these, we can make a bedrockium ingot. And with that, we can make bedrock tools. It's also needed to make netherite in this pack. Interesting. Interesting design choice. Knockback resistance. Is this good armor? I mean, I'm assuming it has to be good. At least on par with netherite. Alright, I completely forgot I had one in my inventory. So we're done. 18 bedrock chunks. I was just playing my phone for a while. Letting that work itself out. Now how do I actually combine these to make our bedrockium ingots? Oh, just iron. A lot easier than I thought. Bedrockium ingots. Now we can make a bedrock pickaxe using our 2 diamonds. And now we can make the big jump. Now why do we need a hang glider? It's a good question. Put all this stuff away. And this should get us to the Nether. Now how do we actually leave the Nether once we get in there? That's a good question. Does it say how? Eating the apple. Oh, we get an apple of ascent to leave. Okay, so I'm not actually going to get like stuck in there. But now we can craft. Oh my god. This is horrendously slow. Finally. I've been digging for hours. And it's funny, I didn't realize it, but now that I can mine bedrock, we don't have to have the strainers down here. I could just move it up to the top of the base. Now then, according to the quest book, we just gotta dive right in. Now they did give us a hang glider. I'm not sure what that's about, so let me equip that real quick. Oh, that's cool. It turns into a little handlebar. And let's jump right in. There's nothing down here. It's just bleak darkness. But we are descending very, very slowly. Oh, there we go. We need to go deeper. You have entered the Nether. And we're at the top, in a soul sand valley. So let me grab all of this stuff. Actually, we're going to collect this stuff first. Nether roof. Right-click to ascend to the nether roof. Apple of ascent. When eaten, it will elevate you to the above dimension. Cool. Let me store that. And now we finally have access to netherrack soul sand. It wants us to find a fortress for wither skeleton skulls and blaze rods. And we'll finally have access to quartz. Nether bedrock. When worn, it allows the destruction of lower bedrock in the nether. And I guess that takes us even further down the dimensions. Structure compass, used to find structures. Well, we're going to have to break through this now. And see if we can get inside. Finally. Swear, it feels like it takes ages just to break it. There we go. Quest completed. Netherrack. Now we are in a soul sand valley, so finding some soul sand should be pretty easy. But navigating from the roof is kind of difficult. Now what else do we have to get up here? We have to get soul sand, obviously. Then we have to find another fortress so we can get blaze rods and wither skulls. Wither skeleton beheading. Wither skeletons always drop their skulls. Interesting. That's the wrong there, but that is a really useful charm nonetheless. Can't craft it though. Found in fortress chests. So we do have to find another fortress. And there's our soul soil. Wait, that's soul soil, not soul sand. But if there's soul soil, there must be sand nearby. Yep, there it is, soul sand. Quest completed. And now we can actually just craft a structure compass pretty easily. With a compass, we can find the nearest structure. But we're going to have to continue digging until we actually get out of this ceiling here. And there it is. And I guess this is why you needed the hang glider, so you can actually hang glide. But it looks like there's a pillar where we're going to be able to build off of a... If I could just get over there. Yeah, basalt column. See, I should have brought some building blocks. We have a little bit of cobbled deep slate. Why are you doing that? There we go. Oh, that's annoying. I always forget. Soul sand is slightly shorter, so it's actually pretty difficult to build off of. So now the column should be somewhere over here. There it is. We can use this to build a staircase all the way down. Do we really need this? Huh, I guess not actually, with the hang glider, because we're just going to use the nether roof to go back up, right? But there's nothing else we really need that I can see from here. We could collect glowstone. Actually, I do need to collect glowstone. We can make it from nether mulch, but there's a lot of stuff I want to craft from lumium first. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't see any glowstone. Let's take a look. Oh wait, no, there it is. It's just on the roof. Let's see, so if I head over in that direction, we should be able to get some glowstone, some piglins, some hoglins. Yeah, the roof is very high in this area. There's not much to be able to actually reach it. But most of the blocks we don't actually need. Oh, and there's another fortress. Really good spawn. Let's see if we can get lower real quick. And see if we can't find ourselves some stuff. Although I'm actually not equipped to fight anything right now that I think about it. But if I see a chest, might be able to snag it real quick. Yeah, I see a chest over there. Oh, and they see me. That's not good. See, the chest should be in there. And there's a ton of free coal. Not saying no to that. Yep, there's the chest. I can't quite reach it. Okay, that's fine. And it's useless. Let's see. So there was one nearby. Where did you come from? Oh, he must have climbed up, I think. Okay, they can climb up from there. That's not good. Let me block this. Yep, go down there. Thank you. And they can attack me, so I'm going to leave. And let's get out of here. We do not have the right armor to actually fight these guys. Like, a diving suit, probably not good enough, but at least there's another fortress pretty close. This is not near our base. Where am I? Map. Our base is all the way over here, and it put us over there. Okay, that's really annoying. So I'm going to have to dig all the way out and then swim back to home base. Good to know. So, if you eat the Apple of Ascension, it puts you in the same area of where you were in the Nether. So, if I want to go back to the base, I have to be in that general area when I eat it. But I think this is a good time to end the episode. We accomplished quite a lot. And now that we made it to the Nether, we can start working on our AE system. And something I want to do is really build out a lot more of those mystical agriculture seeds so we can move away from our strainer-based production and move to our technology-based production with mystical agriculture by growing all of our ingots. But as always, I'm your host, Hamiz28, and I'll see you guys next time.